Humphrey taking responsibility. Take a look.
Good.
For me as a player, knowing what's going on, I hate seeing coaches get under scrutiny when it's the player's fault. You know, if I felt that there was, this ain't being coached this way, right? This ain't being this ain't being this. It's a little different, but it really sucks when the product we're putting out there isn't what we're being coached, isn't what we're practicing.
Okay, Brew, here's the Ravens' defense numbers. These were surprising to you. Now, they are very good at stopping the run. That might be because they're good at stopping the run, or teams are just deciding to throw the ball all over them. Do you need to see a strong performance from the Ravens' defense against Joe Burrow?
I do. And shout out to Marlon Humphrey. I mean, maybe you just say he's saying what he has to say, but I like to hear that. Because I don't really hear that very much from John Harbaugh. I hear Harbaugh doesn't. I don't hear him in the post-game press conferences talking about how their defense has to improve. He may say it, but I like Marlon Humphrey saying it a lot stronger there and taking responsibility. Because here's the thing, Nick. I think they, as much as I wanted them to make a move at the deadline, and they got Trey White, that doesn't excite me. He's a bench player at this point. He gives them a little bit of depth. But as much as I thought they needed to make a move, I do think that the pieces to make this defense strong are right there on the roster. And first of all, the defensive front and the linebackers are fine. You mentioned the run, Wiles, how they lead the league in giving up only 75 yards a game on the ground. That's not just because teams are throwing the ball more against them, because they also lead the league in only giving up 3.4 yards per carry. So teams cannot run for the most part against the Ravens, but they can pass against them. But Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, like these are Pro Bowl. Hamilton made the All-Pro team last year, so they should be able to do a better job against the pass. They just have too many blown coverages and too many mental errors and miscommunications. And I know, Nick, that's been what they've done for a while.
But they
got to get that fixed.
A pass rush.
Well, they're fifth in the league. Not like last year, but they're fifth in the league in sacks.
So
last year was a record-breaking.
So I have accepted that Cincinnati's defense is going to be bad. Brew is yet to accept that the Ravens' defense is going to be bad. Yeah. Brew, I give Brew credit. Wilds, what did he not go to there that I was waiting for it? I don't know what Wilds was.
But that's
the culture.
Good. Are you telling me culture doesn't matter?
Obviously not. They're 30th.
No, they got to have a season to get it together.
Okay, so they added no one, and the guys who played at a superstar level last year have not been doing that. Justin Matabuke last year had a career season in a contract year after being a 4 or 5 sack per season guy. He has 13.5 sacks. They give him the huge deal. He's now back to being the player he had been previously. On the season, he has 2 sacks, 10 tackles. Pardon me. Kyle Hamilton was in the discussion last year for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
This year, he's just been a good safety. I don't know how good Marlon Humphrey actually is. I know last year he was excellent, but we've seen that position corner, and even Jalen Ramsey this year, but except for the true elite of the elite, that can fluctuate a lot year over year. It's happening this year to former Chief L'Jarius Sneed. I think it's happening to Sauce Gardner this year.
But
there's a lot of guys who at that.
Right? You don't think that's a player thing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I thought, but the flip side of that is
they have
last year. But also last year, was it the scheme making him look better, Marlon Humphrey, than he actually is?
He's made 3 Pro Bowls, though. I mean, he wasn't a one-year wonder.
And so I don't think the Ravens' defense is going to magically get better. I think they are going to have to outscore you. And so I don't expect them to have a great performance on Thursday. Now, they might be able to win because the Bengals defense is really bad too, and the Ravens have the most potent pass rush combo in football by far right now, where they might have the offensive player of the year in Derrick Henry and the MVP in Lamar Jackson. So, but I think the Ravens, if they were, and I think Brew might even agree with me, If the uniforms had different logos on them, you would just be like, okay, it's just a bad defense. And so I just don't know that the year-over-year culture of the Ravens defense is going to save the day.
Okay, how does that make sense, though? Because if we're saying that Harbaugh and company and the culture and you know, the brains of that defense is still within the facilities, why would you expect them to not improve, to not be able to troubleshoot? Nick Wright makes that argument all the time about the Kansas City Chiefs, right? When the Chiefs' offense was lacking before any of the injuries, whether we're talking about last year or whatever, he always says, oh, they're going to get better, they're going to get better. You know, no worries, you never a doubt type thing. And so why would we not, if the Ravens have historically been really great defensively, why do we think that that's not going to improve? Now, I understand if they lost some major key pieces and that's why there's been such a pullback, then you could say, well, listen, you know, like, what do you want to do? Not unlike the Chiefs offense when a lot of their offensive weapons went down. It's like, well, you know, what do you want them to do? That's not really the story for the Ravens, at least not completely. I know to a degree there's some of that, but that's not the whole story. And if you remember, let's use the Philadelphia Eagles as a reference point. They were bashing that offense, that defense, well, I guess they were bashing both the offense and the defense. That improved. Like, why is it that no other team in the NFL can improve throughout the season except for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? It's always the Kansas City Chiefs can improve throughout the season, but the Lions are who the Lions are. The Rams are who the Rams are, right? The Eagles are who the Eagles are. The Ravens are who the Ravens are. Why is it that they cannot improve? Has the Ravens' offense not improved as the weeks have gone on? Of course they have. And so I also don't think that it's really entirely fair just to kind of throw out the Ravens as also even having this bad defense. One, they've gone up against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? They've gone against the Cincinnati Bengals, okay? They've gone against the Washington Commanders, all potent offenses. Really, really potent offenses. So they've had that schedule in that regard. Also, some of their numbers are a little skewed as well. They were able to shut down the Buffalo Bills. They were able to shut down the Dallas Cowboys, but the Cowboys got all this garbage momentum and garbage points where it's like, all right, fine. So that's bringing down their rankings and making them look worse than they really are. Like, all of this stuff has to be in context. We love ranking defenses and offenses for that matter. And it's just like, we don't really dive into it enough. I mean, for the longest time, everybody thought that the Cleveland Browns had this unbelievable defense. And that's what everyone said last year. Oh, they had one of the best defenses, one of the best defenses. And I even echoed that because I just kind of like took it as a truth. Oh, everyone is saying that they're the third-ranked, second-ranked defense. Like, yeah. And then you look at what they did, who they went up against, and so much of those rankings were because they really shut down, like truly shut down terrible teams, right? Really bad offense. But then they also had games where they gave up a ton of points. So it's like to just kind of go off and say, oh, well, their defense is really bad and it's not going to improve. I just don't think that's completely fair. Now, do you want to see a strong performance from the Ravens D? Absolutely. But is it fair that they have to show that up against the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase? I mean, like, we're going to act like that's some easy feat to be able to do? Like, it does, we're just supposed to pretend like, oh, yeah, it's easy to stop Joe Burrow. Like, that doesn't make sense. This offense, as they highlighted before, I mean, like, let's see if I can get it quick enough. The offense... No, that's the head-to-head. Where is it at here? I don't know if I'll be able to find it fast enough. I mean, look. This is the offense. 7th in points per game, 40th for 30-plus point games. They have 4 of them. Third down percentage, 3rd. Red zone touchdown percentage, 3rd. Giveaways, 8th. I mean, like, this is a really good offense. So I just kind of disagree with this idea that in order to show that their defense is legit, we have to, we have to show that trying to get back to where it was, man. That the defense really needs to show out. I just kind of reject that. Joe Burrow is a superstar. Jamar Chase is a superstar. They're gonna put up some numbers. And you're banking on the offense being able to do work, right? You're banking on the offense to be able to get the job done. Again, do you want to see the defense be able to slow down Joe Burrow? Do you want to be able to see the defense slow down Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and anyone else you're going to face in the playoffs? Absolutely. Absolutely. But is it a must to see in the regular season right now? Not necessarily, no. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Baltimore Ravens and their defense? Do you think they need to show a strong performance? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.